round and round the rugged rocks, the ragged rascal ran. That was incredibly difficult for me to say. So I have a slight speech impediment that you probably noticed. I can't say R's easily. I've never sounded more like a pirate. Rrrrrr. I'm pretty sure this all originated when I was really young and still learning how to say my letters. As I've mentioned a million times before, I grew up watching a lot of Winnie the Pooh. And because Winnie the Pooh is an English show, they don't pronounce R's. Forever and ever is a very long time, Pooh. Christopher Robin. I remember I had speech therapy every day after school to deal with this. It's kind of funny because that speech therapy was taught by my best friend's mother, so... And R's aren't the only sound that I have trouble saying, there's also S's. For most of my life, I thought that you make the S sound by pushing air out behind your molars through your cheeks. So for most of my life, I sounded like this, and I didn't understand how people got their S's to sound so crisp. You know what's really sad? I only discovered about 3 years ago that I was also doing the same thing to the SH sound. Shh, shh. Instead of pushing the air over my tongue, I would push it under my tongue. Shh, shh. I spit all over. In fact, if you go back and watch some really old Messianic Mondays, you can hear it. When I say really old, I mean part Christian, part Jewish. But now that I've realized this, I put a lot of effort into pronouncing words correctly. I actually just do that in my daily life. I try and really over-enunciate S's. But I still struggle with the R sound. Like right there, that was legit. Because I just want to make it into it like a W. Or just like an AH sound. As somebody who has an R in their first, middle, and last name, life has been fun. So if you've noticed that I've been a little soft on my R's, it's just because I have to put a lot of conscious thought into pronouncing them correctly. Correctly. Rory the Warrior and Roger the Worrier were reared wrongly in a rural brewery. Rural brewery. Wow. Round and round the rugged rocks, the ragged rascal ran. Round and round the ragged rocks, the rugged rascal ran. Round and round the rugged rocks, the rascal randed... Dang it. Thankfully, I usually talk fast enough where people don't notice this is an issue. For example, I'll say, oh, that's really cool. You didn't notice right there that I said that's really cool. I consciously said really cool, but you didn't notice. I just repeated myself like twice. What is this video? So in conclusion, as a kid, I sounded really, really cute. Pack only the essentials. I'll tell you what to bring. Your strength, your nerve, your heart, your wits, and if the Scoliosaurus attacks, the first aid kits.